Okay, once again, my name is Evan, and this is the Evanator Experience. So today I'm out for a walk, and it's sunny out here in Utah, and it's a good day to talk about the FDA and different foods to avoid so that you can live a longer life and so on, and not come down with things like early onset dementia or Alzheimer's. And so you guys have probably heard about MSG and DSG, that's monosodium glutamate. It's in a lot of things like Hidden Valley Ranch, and it's in all kind of salad dressings, and it's in Doritos and Cheetos, and anything they say with a name or a face on it, you probably shouldn't eat it because it's got chemicals in there like MSG, and the DSG is, I believe, disodium glutamate. It's a little brother or cousin of MSG. So that MSG and DSG, it's been linked to, it passes the blood-brain barrier. So that's not a good thing. If you've got chemicals going into your brain, obviously you want to avoid that for various reasons, and one of the main ones being that it causes that early onset dementia and Alzheimer's, which is on the rise, especially in the United States. So, different foods, you want to kind of read the label, and you want to know what's in there. It's tedious, but I try to read every label before I buy something, and that way I know kind of what's in there. And another big one that's permitted by the FDA but is really bad for you is high fructose corn syrup. So high fructose corn syrup, basically what it does is it puts a cloud over your brain, and it tells you that you're not full, and it tells you to keep eating. And all of that is really not good. So, what I can tell you is that high fructose corn syrup, it's in just about every type of food product I've seen, and it should not be anywhere near our food supply. Basically, the FDA is permitting things that are banned in other countries, and we're kind of laughed at over here in the US. For example, in Europe, a lot of the foods that we have in our food supply are not even permitted, not even close. They would never consider it. And there's a website, it's called evilfoodsupply.com, and that's something to look at. I'll try and put a link down in the description. So basically, if our food supply is considered to be evil, let's look at why is that, right? Why are we being, poisoned, and why are we kept, obese as a nation? If you look around, there's a lot of Americans who are obese, and we're like leading the world by many metrics, with everything tied to obesity, which would be like diabetes and things like hypertension and heart attack and everything else in between. Um, so our food supply, it's run by corporations, very large corporations. I don't need to go into all the names, but these corporations they're there to make a profit, and when they put things like MSG into the food, people suddenly buy more. And like with Doritos, they can get more and more sales over time through the added ingredient of MSG. And the more MSG they put in there, the more Doritos they sell, for example, up to a certain point. A lot of Chinese food has MSG. I'm sure you've heard of that. I've tried some Chinese food without MSG. A lot of it doesn't taste very good, but there's some places that pull it off. At least they say they're pulling it off. They're not putting MSG, and they have a nice flavor still. Anyway, these corporations, they're out to turn a profit, and they want to maximize profits. They want to sell as much as they can, and they want to have products. They don't want things sitting on the shelf very long. They want to move products. They want to have things like Doritos and Cheetos, move through quickly. And by adding high doses of MSG in there, it certainly helps. The business model in the United States, I'm sure you may have heard caveat emptor, which is let the buyer beware. We as a nation, we've got to stop buying this crap. Stop buying products with MSG, DSG, high fructose corn syrup. And I'm just getting started here. There's a problem when various food companies. I used to work with a whole bunch of them. Long story short, as an engineer, because by the way, I do have a degree in manufacturing engineering, and I should tell you I'm not a doctor. However, I've researched and I know quite a bit about food science and what's going on here, as you can tell. So with that being said, these food companies, one of the first things they do when they're going to develop a new food or a new flavor is they hire a chemical engineer. And you would look at that and wonder, why are they hiring a chemical expert to develop a flavor, and why are they putting chemicals in our food? And the answer is that they need to hire a chemical engineer because when you synthesize a flavor, it's cheaper oftentimes than getting the actual flavor. So for example, I'm sure you've seen products that are cheese type products, but it will have a cheese flavor. It's a synthesized cheese. There's things out there that are they taste like strawberry or grape, but there's no strawberry or grape in there. You can look at a lot of the juices we're sold and it will say like 10% juice. Juice has a lot of sugar in it to begin with, but if you put high fructose corn syrup in there and then only put 10% juice, that's really not good. That should be illegal, and I think some companies are getting wise and they're cleaning up their act to a degree, especially with with kids' food, I've noticed a trend to get a little more organic, a little less high fructose corn syrup and things of that nature. So there's a big push, we have to make as consumers, and many Americans, they already know all this. They know, go to places like Whole Foods or Trader Joe's, you'll do better there. However, some of their foods still have high fructose corn syrup and things like MSG, and you still need to read the label. So there's no one store to go to that you're going to be totally secure with, or there's no one store that you're going to just be, you can grab anything and it's going to be good for you. What I can tell you is that, some stores are better than others. Like I mentioned, Whole Foods and Trader Joe's, and out here in Utah, we have places like Harmon's is a little better, but they sell still a lot of foods that are not good for you. And I'm probably preaching to the choir here. Everybody knows, candy's not good for you. Milk chocolate's not good for you. You should eat dark chocolate, right? Because dark chocolate is much better for your health. And, so on. But, there's a lot of people who eat milk chocolate every day and they don't really realize, what it's doing to them. But if there's high fructose corn syrup in there, it puts a cloud in your brain and you eat more and more. And that high fructose corn syrup, by the way, it goes straight to fat. So this is what doctors say, that if you wonder why people have so much belly fat, it's a number of things, but the high fructose corn syrup, when it enters the body says, I don't know what this is, and I'll just store it as fat. And as we gain belly fat, I believe if you got something like 20 pounds of belly fat, it doubles, triples, or quadruples your chance of cancer and other diseases. So that's one of the reasons I'm out here walking 3.5 miles a day. I have an annual goal of 1,000 miles per year. It's because walking is a slow burn, and it burns off belly fat, and it keeps you moving, keeps you so you're not sitting at idle all the time, obviously, on and on. Running, as maybe you've heard, it can trigger cortisol. It also triggers endorphins and different things. There's a runner high. But cortisol is a stress hormone, and that's one advantage where walking does not release cortisol as long as you don't walk too fast. Walking is an advantage over running. A lot of seniors figure this out, and that's why you see them out walking around malls and walking all over the place, because walking is it's really good for you. It's been talked about on many different YouTube channels. And I'm mentioning all this because as a nation, we need to get stronger. We need to be in better shape. We need to be less obese. We need to get rid of the brain fog that comes with eating tons of garbage, like things with high fructose corn syrup and MSG. We need to, as a nation, lead the world, because we're leading in technology. We have Silicon Valley, and that's where the iPhone, came from. That's where it was designed. And, we lead as far as patents and technical innovation. We lead the world. We need to follow through and lead by example. And I think as a nation, we need to be stronger and more healthy. Clearly there's a problem. That's why I'm making these type of videos. I want to get the word out. And it's not only me, but there's a need for maybe a couple thousand people like me on YouTube, and there's doctors on ABC News and NBC. So collectively we have to get through to everybody, and of course that's impossible to get through to everybody. But if we can reach 50% of the people and get their diet cleaned up, that would be a major milestone. And I'm not making fun of anybody who might be obese or overweight, by the way. They refer to it as a disease, and I know some people, for whatever reason, they may be diabetic. They have to have candy on them all the time, and I know that there's all kind of reasons why people may be consuming milk chocolate or various different sugary things. And so I just wanted to say, I'm not here to tell everyone that you must cut out high fructose corn syrup and MSG and everything, but I'm telling people that it's a really good idea for probably the vast 80-90% of us. So there's a saying that one size shoe fits all, or whatever. That does not apply here. To everybody's diet is going to be different. This is kind of common sense, but what I eat is not necessarily what everyone else should be eating, on the planet. But I try to do a healthy diet, and I try to eat 2 eggs. I ate in the morning. I ate 2 eggs fried in olive oil, and eggs are really good for you. Obviously, organic eggs would be the best. Eggs are very high in a whole bunch of nutrients. They're considered to be a superfood, kind of like avocados. Talk to your doctor before you have eggs every day, but that's what I do. And I have a smoothie for lunch usually. I get organic fruit from Costco and frozen fruit. I put blueberries, strawberries, organic milk, honey, cinnamon, half a banana, and I mix all that in there with some water for consistency, and I have that for lunch. So there's good ways to eat. Everybody needs fruit. We also need to chew our food. If you only have smoothies, your jaw muscles are going to become weak, and that's not good either. It'll mess up your whole face over time. There's a lot of people have these devices to bite down on to make their jawline more chiseled and whatever. Especially in Hollywood, they do that a lot. But anyway, I tell people, here's what I do. Here's what works for me, and it may work for you, it may not. So for whatever that's worth, for dinner, I try to do Mediterranean diet. They say, most of the doctors out there say the Mediterranean diet is best, and I try to have fish and some rice, some vegetables. I try to work that into my dinner, and a salad is preferable. They say if you eat anything savory first, it is best. So if you start your day with eggs, that's savory, and then you can move to something like bread after that, or something like a sweet roll if you have to. But if it can lower your blood sugar and keep your insulin from spiking, if you start with a savory food first, like eggs. Also, a salad will do that. If you have a salad before you start your meal, that also will lower your, keep your insulin from spiking. And there's been a lot of research that shows that. You know, we can all eat a little more salad, leafy greens, you know, kale. All these things are supposed to be very good for you, and I trust doctors that this is what they're telling us, and they say buy organic because you know it's better for you. And I don't think organic solves all the problems, but I think that it's a start. You know, and there's some stuff that says organic and it's not really organic, so that's a whole other can of worms. So with all that said, you know, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking about all this, about MSG, DSG, high fructose corn syrup. You know, going savory first with the first things you put in your mouth each meal. And let me know in the comments what you think about this, and I'd be happy to hear what your thoughts are. You know, also, if you're enjoying this type of video, you know, please smash the like button. That really helps the YouTube algorithm, and I'd appreciate that. So, you know, there's a saying out there. I think Aerosmith even had this song, which was something to the effect that there's something wrong with the world today. You know, and I tend to, I think that applies to a lot of things throughout time. You know, there's been always something wrong with the world, you know, but right now, I think our food supply there's something really wrong with our food supply. You know, if there's a website called Evil Food Supply, once again, evilfoodsupply.com, that is, I would say, a concern at the very least. You know, this is something you should pay attention to. You know, and that's why I'm making this video. I think take a look. You know, don't take my word for it. Do your own research. You know, and take a look at the evilfoodsupply.com, and you know, you can do some reviews on that website and see what other people say about it, and you know, do some other research about MSG and high fructose corn syrup. There's been a lot of literature. I mean, an overwhelming amount of literature, especially on high fructose corn syrup. I think there's more and more coming out with MSG and DSG. So anyway, with that being said, I appreciate you paying attention and listening to me today, and have a good rest of your day.